Pretty awesome. We publish a lot of doujin and anime style games and stuff. What's the new one they just put out? Bunny Must Die? I think that's the name of it.
I guess so. I've heard that name before. But
Here we go.
All right, this is the infographic, the how-to.
The infographic of how to play. All right, movement, really self-explanatory. You can move in all the directions. You can fly around and things like that. Burst, you'll see that little circle around them.
Head is the best.
You'll see that little circle around them, and like as the circle is there, they have invulnerability, and that circle slowly closes up around them when it's gone.
At any situation where you're invulnerable, there will be a circle around your character that basically shows your invulnerability time. So when you do something that's invincible, you'll know, let's say, oh, okay, I'm invincible for this period of time. And if an opponent does something, you can see their invulnerability circle and say, okay, well, they're going to be vulnerable.
Exactly. All right, and then there's your primary and secondary attacks. Really straightforward. X is usually lasers. Secondary is usually some type of solid or missile attack. And you can hold them down and get something else. So like Suguri, she'll just charge her laser and just fire it off. They vary from all sorts of different degrees.
Every character has different stuff.
And then you can also hold down L1 or R1 depending on what control scheme you like to use. We typically go with R1 in Tennessee, because it just feels the most comfortable.
Yeah.
And it allows you to do level 3 way easier. Yeah. So what you do is you hold down that and you hit X or circle, and you'll get a different attack than what it is. Yeah. So Suguri, the main character, she uses, if you hold down, like if you just use X normally, you'll get a laser out. If you hold down R1 and hit X, she has a little laser sword that she'll swing at you. And if you hold down and hit alternate and circle, her secondary, she'll just charge at you with the sword with a big stupid hitbox.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. So that's just the basics on attacking. So there's a lot of different kinds of attacks. You'll see all sorts of stuff, and I'll try to explain it as we go.
Every character
is really different.
They're very different.
Let's go over dashing. So whenever you dash, you can either tap dash and you'll move in like a short little dash in whatever direction you're tapping, or you can cancel a dash into a dash. You can be like pew, 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 pew,
zigzag
all around, like zigzag around, and that's the preferred way to move. That gives you the best mobility. But you can hold down dash and you'll kind of loop and wind your way around. And that's good for dodging like wide range attacks like Saurus hold missiles. They're really hard to dodge. But the thing about dashing is that every time you dash, it adds a percentage of heat to your heat gauge. Your heat in this game is a direct modifier to how much damage you take. So the more dashing and the more like high movement you use, the more damage you're going to take. And it goes all the way up to 300%. And that is quite a bit of damage to take.
It's a bit of a risk-reward
like
factor.
Characters can just kill you outright if you're at 300%. If your name's No Name, Sora, Hime, Kyoko can do it, Kei can do it. A lot of characters can just kill you at 300% heat. So you get the reward. You get a lot of reward off of getting out of situations and being able to move and do all sorts of other things. But there's also a ton of risk involved because that's just going to keep adding to your heat.
Yeah. So if you want to move really fast, you can, but you just have to understand that when you do eventually get hit, it'll hurt a lot more than it normally would.
Exactly. All right, and then there's the ring. The ring is one big circle, and then there's one little outer circle. The thing about the outer circle is if you are dashing around the inside that outer circle, then you will be losing meter the entire time you're dashing around that outside circle. So you can't just sit back on one side of the screen and just start throwing out projectiles all day because you're going to be losing meter, and meter is really important.
You can move normally while you're in the outer circle, but if you dash, you will lose meter.
And that's very bad.
And it sucks. It might as well be your second life bar.
Yeah. And then supers. We were about to talk about supers earlier. There are all different kinds of supers. You have your standard super, you just press triangle and a super comes
one button,
out.
Boom.
And depending on who you are, that super can have various uses. If you're like a character with like a standard laser, it's probably just a big laser beam. For a lot of characters, it's just a big laser beam. But that's not for everybody. So there's all sorts of stuff you can get for that. Then there is the dash super, which is Super A2, and not every character actually has one of these, but they're usually some type of defensive thing. Like Kyoko, she summons these little ice cubes around her that will take fire for her and then fly at the enemy. She has to, the startup on this takes a long time, so she'll stop and she'll have to summon them all one at a time, like into existence. Or she can spend a bar and do dash super and all of them just instantly summon, which is really nice. So there's that. Then there's Super B, Super C, which all they are is you either press R1 in Super or Circle in Super at the same time, and they'll give you different supers depending on the character. So each character is going to have at least 3 different basic supers.
Yeah.
And then you always have a level 3. And some level 3s are ridiculous, like Hyoko's, which just looks like the Blizzard sprite from Pokemon, where just giant ice chunks just take over the entire screen.
Cover the whole
which
screen.
That might be the best level 3 in the game. And then there's Hime's, where she gets the angel wings of lasers. And that one, like, if Hime catches you at more than like 150% heat with her chain and then just does level 3, you're dead. Like, I don't think it'll kill you outright, but you might as well be dead. It's at least like 60-70% of your life bar right there. And being caught at 150 heat is actually not really unrealistic. That's the thing that happens in this game.
Heat gets really high in this game because you are moving a lot.
Yeah. Good players learn how to control their heat, or some players just accept the heat and say my movement's on point and they just go all in. So that's the basics, and then the little triangle down here of what beats what is a general summation of lasers beat missiles, missiles beat dashing, and dashing beats lasers. Because if you're dashing, you're invulnerable to lasers. And if you dash through a laser, then you get extra meter.
Yeah.
So dashing will get you through lasers. But missiles beat dashing hard because missiles are solid, and you are not immune to solid things while dashing. So if you dash into a missile, you're just going to get bopped.
Yep.
So you have to be really careful about where those are. And then lastly, lasers will beat missiles because lasers just blow up missiles.
Yeah.
Missiles are solid, but most lasers will go through them and just keep on going.
Yeah.
So, like a laser super, like let's say I'm playing Sora and I'll throw out, like Sora's a really missile-based character, so I'll throw out a whole bunch of missiles. Somebody just hits a beam super and I just lose everything.
Yeah, they just all go.
Like all those missiles are gone because they just get demolished by the beams. So, and that's a really basic rundown. Can we get some gameplay going so we can talk about it?
People are like going crazy about wanting to see it. So.
Actually, you know what? I will go play a couple real quick. I'll go play a couple.
All right.
Throw a replay up.
Oh, you want to throw? Oh, the replay of
let's
like
put a
blue.
replay.